Okay, so here's another project. This is parts from my old belt grinder. I built this a few years back, and I just had it painted flat black. It's been okay. I don't mind the flat black, but I like the look of fresh raw steel. So I sandblasted this part this morning, and my sandblaster came out nice. But then my sandblaster shit the bed. It's a V-twin, and one of the cylinders sucked a valve. So I've got to order parts for that. So in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out how to strip this down to raw steel without a sandblaster. I've got the paint off. I took the paint off with paint remover. That's a no-brainer. That worked pretty well. Still got some paint remover on the can. So I got the paint off both of these items. And what I'm left with is this dark gray stuff. This is called mill scale. This is on all hot rolled steel, mill scale. I want to get that off, get it down to the raw metal color like this. I go back to work tomorrow night. So I'm going to run over and get some muriatic acid. That's wicked stuff to work with, but in a half hour it'll have all this down to raw steel. So I'm going to the hardware store. I'll be back. Okay, so I went to the hardware store and bought 2 gallons of the big guns. This is muriatic acid. This is a lot more potent than the phosphoric acid. I'm going to put this acid in that tote and submerge the parts in it. I've got my safety equipment here. A pair of gloves, respirator. I'm going to put some baking soda in this bucket and fill it with water. This will neutralize the muriatic acid, so hopefully it won't flash rust on me. We'll fill this bucket up and be right back. Okay, got 2 gallons of muriatic in there. Got my safety equipment on. Gonna submerge this part in it and see what it does. Here we go. Set this in, and I can still breathe a little bit of that through the respirator. So we'll see what that does. I'll leave it in for maybe 10 minutes. Okay. I'm going to dilute the muriatic a little bit. Won't hurt it anything. Just a little bit, maybe 1 to 1. Okay. It's been about 15 minutes. You can see the line where the acid started taking the rust off in the mill scale. Obviously I missed some paint spots here. I think I can get these off with Scotch-Brite. I'm going to put this in upside down, see if I can get the upper half of this as clean as the bottom. This part came out pretty nice. All the mill scale's gone, but I can see where I missed some of my black paint. So I'm going to run a little more stripper on it, just a teeny bit. There's quite a few areas I missed around here. I'll put the paint stripper on it, then give it another acid dip, and then we'll polish this. Muriatic acid did a pretty good job. It left a nice smooth finish on this metal, unlike sandblasting. It's not a coarse finish. I'm going to polish these parts up, then assemble this machine. This is the most badass thing I've ever built. I'll put it together and show you how it works, and show you how to put it together, and show you how cool it is. All right, later on, guys. Nice. These parts came out of the muriatic acid yesterday. They've got all the mill scale removed from them. These bars came out of the acid this morning. I neutralized them in a bucket of baking soda here. They've got a little flash rust on them. These are pitted. These have been out in the weather for years, but they're serviceable. They're not going to affect the operation of the machine. So I'm just going to take this flash rust off with the Scotch-Brite, and then I'll add some paste wax to this part And also these parts, these are cold rolled steel, so there's no mill scale on them. Back in a minute. Okay, so I've got these all waxed. I'm going to let the wax cool down, then I'll rub them with a dry cloth. They'll be good to go. This wax works great for waxing tools, keeping them from rusting, saws, whatever you got, whatever you need wax. This is good stuff. I don't remember where I got it. Yeah, I do. Okay, now I'm going to start assembling this, putting the bolts in it. I've got 6 shorter bolts, 6 longer bolts. This will sit on top of the machine. This is the arm pivot here, arm holder. We'll be back. Got some torque on that one. Parts are made from cold rolled steel. They get a coat of wax also. I've already waxed these. We'll install these up here on this part here in a minute. This is the pivot arm. Whoop. I'm going to come back and final torque all this stuff. But that's the pivot arm. Tighten this pivot arm until there's no side-to-side movement on it. No side-to-side movement, and you've still got relatively easy pivot. So I think I've got that about right. There's no slop side-to-side. Okay. Now for the spring retainers. One of these has to go on the pivot arm here. Threads in. These are 3/8 bolts. This is some kind of bronze bushing I found. I don't even remember where I got them, but they work. We'll screw this one in here, like that. Okay, I've got these both tightened down. Now we're going to put the spring on. I use a dual spring on this. This actually holds the spring from coming off on rebound when this thing comes back up. Now we'll fold this over, and this part of the spring will sit on this perch, hopefully. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. We'll try it. Just kind of got to bend the spring in, get it started like that, and it'll seat itself, okay? So with that mounted, now we're going to mount the tracking device here. I built this. This is cold rolled steel. There's not much to it. It's just a pivot between 2 blocks. And I'll install it and we'll show you how it works. I've ran this all thread in until it seats right here. That screw, that piece of all thread has an angle cut on it, so it sits flush right here. That's mandatory. Okay, I'll install this. Just 4 Allen head screws mounts this up. Pretty easy. I'll tighten these down, then we'll get back to it. Now the 4 Allen head bolts, I've snugged them down pretty good. All this thing does is pivot here. That's all it does. That's its job in life. Hey, this little knob came from eBay. I pinned it to a piece of bolt. Put my own pin in it so it didn't rotate. Got a thrust washer on it and then a spring. Now this is going to thread into this hole here. Like that, if I can do it with one hand. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, now this will control your pivot up and down. Just like that. That's your tracking adjustment. Okay? This is the tracking wheel here. You'll notice it's not flat on top. It's got a convex crown to it. There's ball bearings on both sides. It's got an inner bushing so you can tighten this down. This is kind of a bear to put on because you have to get that bushing lined up. I usually stick an Allen wrench in it or something, get it going. Okay, got the tracking wheel on. Now I'm going to run a lock nut on this. You don't want this thing coming off. No lock washer, just a nylon lock nut. And you don't have to tighten this down too tight. You don't want to crush these bearings. You want to give them not too much preload on them. Okay, so got that snug down good. The wheel rolls nice. That's almost it for the top part. I bought this little tool handle. I think this came from one of the tool suppliers on eBay. Just wind that in. Okay, lock that down. All right, guys. That's the complete upper. This will be your belt alignment. You'll align it with this. All right. Pretty cool. Now moving on to the base here. I'm going to install these pillow block bearings. I've tapped and drilled this 3/4 plate to accept the pillow blocks. We'll come back and show you how this goes. Okay, got the first first pillow block in. We'll tighten them up. And of course, like I said, these will all be hand torqued after I put them in with this. I usually have an impact gun, but my air compressor's down. It sucked the valve. Okay, these bearings are kind of cool. They pivot, so they're self-aligning bearings. We'll put the other side on now. Second side. Now don't look at my turkey shit welds. They're not the best looking welds, but I was kind of learning to weld back in the day. All right, got this set up. I'm not going to worry about shaft alignment right now. We'll align the shaft when we set this over on the base there. Pedestal. Okay, now everything on this machine is super heavy duty. This is 1/2 inch plate. This is 3/4 inch plate. This is big angle iron. This is about 3/8 width here, angle iron. Pretty hefty stuff. So everything's heavy bruiser. We'll set this over here. Okay, now this bolts down with 4 bolts, 1 in each corner. This has a little bit of arch in it. When I straighten this down, everything will pull flat here. I could put it in the press, but it's not a big deal. It works great. Just pulled down with bolts. Okay, got everything torqued down here, tightened down to the pedestal. Now we're going to move back to this piece here. We've got to roll this over and put in our tool stops. This will be for our tool arm locks. These are aluminum. These are nice. These are the kind you lift up and you can put that handle anywhere and they lock back in. These are very nice. These were like 10 bucks on eBay. Okay, we'll roll it the other way. Sorry about the video. Only got one hand to work with, guys. That's it. Put this one in here. All right. These are the 4 bolts that mount it to the pedestal over there, or to the base. Take these out and then set this part on there, over there, and cinch it down. All right. Everything on this machine is so god-awful heavy. This is 1 inch by 1.5 inch stock here. This is actually cold rolled steel. I bought this from an outfit. I think I bought 3 feet of the steel. I couldn't find cold or hot rolled in this size, so this thing is a bruiser. I've added the second tool arm slot there. The Beaumont grinders usually just come with one, or the KMG have a single slot. I added a second. Down the road, maybe I'll make knives or use this for a tool steady or something. We'll see. Anyway, we've got 4 bolts. These go in from the bottom. I'll mount them. Okay, everything on this has been tightened down, torqued. We're ready to try the tool arms in. These are the tool arms I put the paste wax on. Now it's time to do wax on, wax off. This paste wax is dried pretty much. Give it a little buff. Like I said, guys, this steel sat out in the yard for probably 10 years, but there's some usable surfaces on it. It doesn't affect performance of these arms at all. These are 1.5 inch square arms. They're very heavy. So let's try this one in. This is the normal slot I'll be running all my tools in. I don't have a tool arm built yet for the left side, so this slides in nice. No wobble in this, guys. Now this handle, this will crank it down and lock your tool bar here, your tool arm. All right, now we're gonna put some wheels on it. Okay, so I found a piece of all thread in the shop. This is the spacer setup I've been using, this deep nut plus 3 washers. So I've got to cut my all thread 1.5 inches longer than this. Okay, this part goes through the hub with enough clearance for a lock nut. So I need 1.5 inches on top of this. So I'll get this measured out, cut, then we'll put the contact wheel on. It's always something, Murphy's Law, man. Okay, got the new all thread cut to length. I actually had to dress this down on my flapper wheel because normally I would use this machine. This machine has replaced all my grinding wheels. This is my do-all machine and it's tore down right now. So this was dressed up on a flapper wheel. Okay, we're gonna roll this in and see how it fits. Then we'll mount the wheel. I like this much better. This will go clear through the wheel, or clear through the arm. That'll give it a lot of stability. You could even drill a set screw hole here and set screw this shaft in, this all thread, but I've never had any problems with it coming out, ever. Ever. So we'll just thread that in until it hits the end there. Okay, good with that. Lock down this lock nut. You don't want to cinch down too much on this lock nut. You want this wheel to roll fairly easily. So that's pretty good there. If you back it off a little bit, it'll roll a little better. So just find the happy point for your wheel and make sure you put a lock nut on it. All right, we've got 2 out of 3 wheels mounted. We've got our tracking wheel and our contact wheel. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, guys, when you build this block, I run a piece of shim brass in here. I run 3 pieces of brass lengthwise, the whole length of this. I don't remember how thick they were, 4 or 5 thousandths maybe. So I got a little bit, teeny bit of movement in there, but not enough to affect anything. If you don't run the shim stock here, when you tighten your bolts down, this thing's gonna act like a vise and your arm won't slide in nice like that. So something to think about. All right, now we're gonna mount the drive wheel on the back of this machine and also the motor pulley. All right, I'm gonna roll this machine around so we can look at the back of it. Okay, so now I've got the belt alignment, the belt pulley in alignment with the motor pulley. So let's put the belt on. We'll just set it on for slow speed operation, just like that. Now this I just kicked down with my foot. It's tight enough, it holds good tension on the belts. Let's give it a test run. Looks okay to me. Let's try high speed. We'll move this belt up. Over to the big pulley. Just kind of walk it up there, like that. And make sure she doesn't rattle or vibrate at high speed. Okay. Here goes another run. That's whipping. I don't hardly ever run it. Turn that noisy bastard off. I never run it at that high speed, usually in the center or slow speed. I'm not a knife maker, I'm a fabricator, but sometimes this speed works when you want to cut something really fast. So I don't use it very often. Now we'll put the drive wheel on. Okay, now for the drive wheel, I've got my key stock on the shaft, and this drive wheel, it goes all the way into the bearing collar. So slide it all the way in like that, and then cinch it down. This drive wheel only has one set screw. It's kind of a hard one to get at. It's like right there. Right there. Kind of goes in on an angle. I haven't really had trouble with the drive wheel walking around too much. Just the pulley. So, okay, we'll tighten that down good. All right, I think we're ready to roll. We're going to check alignment between our square pulley and our drive wheel. Oh, I've already set this, but I'm going to show you how I did it. You set this on your front wheel square here, and I've got perfect alignment right there. What I had to do up here was I had to add a fourth washer. This is not very professional, but it works really well, so that's how I did it. All right, we'll put a belt on it and try it. I've got a brand new belt on this. You can see this runs one direction. This is a 240 grit. By the way, guys, this is a 2x72 belt grinder. I can't load the belt with one hand because I have to pull this tool arm out like that and then lock this handle. So I'll turn the camera off and then we'll get back. So this is a brand new belt. By the way, guys, this is a 2x72 belt grinder. This one's a 240 grit. It's got directional arrows on it. Just load the belt like that. Pull the tension out of this, and pull this wheel out, push down on that, and tighten this down. That locks the tool arm in. Okay, now almost ready for startup. I'm going to set this tracking wheel. Try to set it about center. You never know where this thing's going to start up. So here we go. It's off a little bit. You can adjust the tracking with that knob. That brings the belt right over. And no weird noises. Sounds good. It's ready to put back to work. I'm going to go over my other arm I built. This is my big wheel. I've got another one with a platen on it. We'll put that on in a minute. So we'll pull this tool arm here out right now and let the belt hang. Now this tool arm, I've got a storage down here on my little cart. This just slides into it. Right there. Good place to store a wheel. Now this one, we're going to slide this in over here. And I'll mount my platen up to this, show you how it works. Another part I made, just a piece of flat stock cut, drilled and slotted with a tightening screw here. This will bolt on this tool arm right here, like that. It's hard to do things with one hand. I should set the camera down, but I'm lazy, guys. So this is my secondary tool arm. This holds this platen, slides in this slot here, and then I can tighten this up any angle I want. This is a good flat platen. I need to put a piece of hardened tool steel on this to keep the wear down. I haven't used this much. Or you can run it this way as a slack belt grinder, or I've even notched pipe with this tubing, guys, for my roll cage build over there. So I'll put a belt on this and we'll take a look at it. So this is flatten right here. You could do knife sharpening on that or whatever. This is called slack belt, so your belt will actually flex and mold to whatever you're doing on it. So all in all, this is a very versatile machine, pretty much built from scratch. I ordered the wheels from Beaumont. My wife bought this wheel, this wheel, this wheel. They were $350. I'm only in it maybe another 80 bucks in steel, guys. So, and I found an old junk motor on the internet. So this is a $1,000 belt grinder. This, like I said, this has a dual port here. So I'm going to incorporate an arm here that comes out with the tool rest. That'll be compatible with the slack belt and also with the square wheel. So, all right, guys, that's my copy of a KMG grinder clone. Hope you like it.